Penguin presents On Liberty, written and read by Shami Chakrabarti. Foreword. I finished writing On Liberty over a year before the UK general election of May 2015. I write this new foreword just over a month after that election, as the great and good of British politics, law and civil society celebrate the 800th anniversary of the signing of Magna Carta. I'm sad that so many of my earlier predictions have proved correct. A new Conservative government, though one with a slim majority of only 12 seats in the House of Commons, has indeed stated its intention to scrap our Human Rights Act. Even the possibility of Britain's withdrawal from the European Convention on Human Rights, alongside an in-out referendum on the European Union, is firmly on the table, and the two issues are commonly and deliberately confused. The deeper, broader attack on universal human rights values has found tragic and graphic demonstration in the hideous spectacle of desperate refugees being left to drown, not in some faraway ocean, but close to home in the Mediterranean Sea, where so many British families have happily splashed in the decades of the democratic package holiday age. Meanwhile, young people who are as British as me choose not to engage in local or national politics, but instead to leave their families and communities and identify with and die for Islamic State, whose hideous propaganda parades terrified hostages dressed in the same orange jumpsuits now long associated with the abuses at Guantanamo Bay. Senior British politicians rushed to Paris to say "Je suis Charlie" in passionate defence of the free expression of murdered journalists, only to return to London with promises of crackdowns on debate in mosques and universities as part of their domestic extremism agenda. The general election result clearly surprised many across British politics, but it wasn't only the unanticipated Conservative majority that caused a stir. The Scottish National Party, led by the charismatic and talented Nicola Sturgeon, took all but 3 of Scotland's seats in the House of Commons. Sturgeon emerged as the political star of the 2015 campaign, with her apparently easy manner and feminist progressive appeal inspiring many south of the border to join a party for which they cannot vote. Ironically, Sturgeon's Scottish nationalists vow to use their new Westminster clout to defend the universal human rights settlement for everyone in the United Kingdom, while David Cameron's Conservative and Unionist Party puts both that settlement and the cohesion of the Union itself in jeopardy. As experienced advocate and new SNP MP Joanna Cherry QC said in her maiden Commons speech, "My message to the House, and in particular to those on the government benches when considering whether to repeal the Act and leave the ECHR, can best be summarised by the words of my fellow countrywoman, Mary Queen of Scots, when she was on trial for her life before an English court. Look to your consciences and remember that the theatre of the whole world is wider than the Kingdom of England." For it isn't just the Scotland Act, which established the Scottish Parliament, that weaves the human rights settlement into our complex and delicate devolution arrangements. It's also the Good Friday Agreement that paved peace in Northern Ireland and which constitutes a treaty to which the Republic of Ireland is also signatory. Northern Ireland and Welsh assemblies are as unequivocal as the Scottish Government on the lack of legitimacy that David Cameron's proposed Bill of Rights Light would enjoy in those jurisdictions. There would be nothing short of a constitutional crisis if a Conservative government in Westminster attempted to impose a new or differential human rights arrangement on the devolved countries. After years of less than robust defence of the Human Rights Act on Labour's part, the leader of Her Majesty's opposition, Harriet Harman, chose the day after the official celebrations at Runnymede to point out the impossibility of the Prime Minister's position. In a stirring speech whose argument was animated by her own long career, Harman spoke first of the experience of being a young lawyer at Liberty, bullied by the authorities and ultimately vindicated by the European Court of Human Rights. Then, with considerable humility, she spoke of being frustrated by the tempering effect of human rights protection as a cabinet minister. But she acknowledged the importance of checks on executive action and, accompanied by new MP and former Director of Public Prosecutions
Sample complete. Ready to continue?